What's going on, everybody? Jeremiah here from Babbling in my backyard, a pond and gardening channel packed full of how-to videos, much like this one. Check it out. I've actually had a lot of questions in the comments sections and reaching out to me on Instagram on how do I get so many bubbles in my IBC tote. So the secret is, and I've said it in many comments, is these membranes here. These are excellent diffusers. Matala is the brand that I have, and I got this kit here shown in the corner. The kit comes with the 8-inch disc, the 12-inch disc, and the base. So you can swap the two discs out depending on whatever you're going to need. The base itself, if you were just to buy it separately, is like 56 bucks. Here, it might be more expensive in other places, which seems a little ridiculous when these actual discs, these membranes, are only like 20. If you can get one of these membranes, what we're going to show you today is how to build a base for it. If you want to buy the Matala base, by all means just do that. Or if you just want to pick up one of these membranes, you'll be able to build the base for it for less than the cost of the base. Now I'll say less than the cost of the base, but it depends on where you live and what you have or don't have for extras. Like for instance, I always have glue. I have lots of PVC pipes, so I'm just going to use what I had. I did have to buy caps. Now where I live, PVC components like this are pretty inexpensive. I know from experience with other videos that I've answered questions for, not everybody has PVC parts like this that are as inexpensive. Sometimes they can get outrageous in some areas. I would recommend Amazon on a lot of these things if you don't have some hardware store near you that's reasonably priced. Obviously the big box stores will always have these types of things, but they don't usually even have as big of a selection as my hardware store, my local hardware store, or Amazon. Real quick, how this works. It's a rubber membrane, and when the air is pushed into it, it actually kind of starts to bulb over. So you'll see it kind of pack up like that. When it charges full of air, it packs the air in there, and then all the little perforations in here start to open up, and lots of micro bubbles come pouring off of this thing. They're amazing. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a base to make this membrane stay at the bottom of the pond when it has all that air in it. So I'm going to make this out of 1.5 inch. You can make it out of 2 inch. The first thing I got to do is I have to seal this nipple. I don't want a through hole on my nipple here. I know that's a funny name, but that is technically what they're called. Say 3/4 inch, because the pipe thread on the bottom of this, and it's pipe thread. That's a tapered thread, if you didn't know that. The pipe thread here is a 3/4 pipe thread. So that's what we're having to use down in all of this. Now, what I have is some silicone, and I'm going to fill the inside of this with silicone all the way, and I'm going to cap it off. I'm going to do that tonight, and I will have to not use this until tomorrow at some point. So I've packed that full now. Okay, we're back the next day. Our plug is all dried, so the silicone, and we're quite a ways into the next day already, so all that silicone is nice and rubbery now. It should not push through. So I have cut some 5-inch lengths and some 2-inch lengths. The 2-inch lengths are going to connect these guys up, and then we'll get the longer pieces set up with the caps on them on both of those. We'll start filling that section here with sand, and then we'll connect it off to the other one. We'll do this 2 of them and get them the 2 of those ready before we get this all put together, and then we'll finish filling with sand. and continue the build. I gotta get these pieces dried off. I did saw these and deburred them, the bigger burrs off of them already. So what I'm using is just red hot blue glue. This is what I normally use. It's a PVC cement. This will create a lot of fumes. So if you can, make sure you're doing this in a area that has some airflow. Ideally, you would actually put it on the inside. I'm not worried about seal as much, but normally when you glue with this stuff, you put it on the inside and the outside to get an excellent seal. Obviously, if water gets in here, I don't care. This is just a weight. Unfortunately, my sand is not dry, so it's not going to pour very well. Don't really want a lot of air in here. Any air is going to cause it to want to still lift. It might even be smart to put some water in here with it. Okay, so now I'm going to glue the pieces together here. We've got something good going here now. Now I've got to put sand in here. This base is now full of sand, probably 10 pounds maybe. So now what we want to do is get the threaded piece in here, and then we can connect off the T for running the air in and the cuts up to the base. So I don't want air going down, so that's why it's plugged here, but I do want air coming through and then up. Now I'll throw that tape along the top side, and then this will get threaded on. That should do. We'll just make sure that's nice and square. When I went to the hardware store, they did not have a 3/4 inch pipe thread to a 3/8 inch barb, which is the airline that's coming in from my pump is a 3/8 inch barb. So I had to do a 3/4 inch pipe thread to an ID 1/2 inch pipe thread and 1/2 inch pipe thread to 3/8. I do not want this one to leak air, so I am going to seal it pretty good. While I have this here, I'm going to go ahead and connect my airline. Remember, I've got 3/8 inch airline. Okay, so now we're going to put this bladder on. It has some Teflon tape, but that Teflon tape is old and worn out, so we're putting some new stuff on. The biggest downside to this whole thing is the height. I am not a fan of how tall it is, because I don't know, it's probably close to a foot tall. Will it work? All right, next thing we gotta do is get the pump set up. So these air pumps that I use are from EcoPlus. So you can hear the one running right now. I turned that back on. One, because I wanted to get oxygen back to the IBC tote where those fish are, but two, so that you could hear that one. I have had that pump for 3 years at least, and I picked that pump up used, and that guy had it for at least a year before me. So it's pretty much been running non-stop for 4 years, and it's still going strong. So of course I had to buy another same exact pump. It is for commercial use, but they're really inexpensive. There's a link in the description below so that you can get the same pump, as well as I have links in the description below for the Matala Discs and the base. One of the things that this doesn't come with is a check valve, so that your air can flow one way, but you don't want water to be able to come back. That is something you will need to purchase. For me, because I'm using 3/8 inch line, this comes with a 3/8 inch or a 1/2 inch barb. I don't need the 1/2 inch barb for this. I just need the 3/8 inch barb for this. I'm going to put some Teflon on this pipe thread and then thread it in here. That should be good. First thing I'm going to do is get my line ran. So it's got to go obviously under all of this platform, and then it's going to kick up over there and then down, and then between the IBC tote and the pond over here. So I had talked about this before, but this is a one-way valve. It lets air move through, but the water is not allowed to come back. So you want this so that it protects your pump. I'm going to go ahead and flip this switch, which controls the pond, and I got a GoPro set up in the pond, so you'll see the bubbles come out of the actual membrane. Uh-oh. Bam. If you remember, I was worried that I didn't get enough sand in there. I'm hoping that I can fix this problem that I'm having by simply adding water to fill all the extra space of air in here. As long as I still have air bubbles escaping, which I can see them popping up there when the water's dropping, I know that I still have space to fill with water. I still don't think it's going to be enough. Alright, so if you decide to do this build, I would go with 2 inch instead of the 1.5 inch. And maybe schedule 4D pipe if you don't already have the pipe and you're buying the pipe yourself. It's cheaper, for one. And the other, it's thinner so you can get more sand in here. It's all the air trying to escape, and it's replacing it with water. Okay, all the bubbles seem to be out now. I can't get any more to come out, which is good. I have water in the threads. I'm going to use hydraulics to push any water out past the pipe thread. If you don't understand how pipe threads work, they are tapered. So this has a taper, and that has a taper, and they keep getting tighter and tighter until they seat. So as I start this in here, it will actually cause the water to push out, and it will keep pushing out until it seats. So because I want as much water as possible, I'm even saying that I want that water. Okay, we're going to try this again. GoPro's going in. Switch is coming on. Come on, stay down. Oh, man. Okay, new plan. That 12-inch disc is too much oxygen in there for those weights, so I'm hoping the 8-inch disc will work for that. But I want the 12-inch disc in the pond, so I'm going to use this base with the 12-inch disc, and then I will put the other one with the 8-inch in the IBC tote. Hopefully that's going to hold this. Here we go, get it on. On here. It stayed down, it's good. Alright, hopefully you got something out of this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Got lots of great videos all the time coming on this channel. And I'll see you in one of these other videos that are on the screen now.